Hi children, welcome to grade 4 English and today we are going to start a new chapter. Yes, chapter number 8, Good and Bad Children. Are you all excited? And before getting into our session, let's do an energizer. Children, share an incident in which you were appreciated for behaving nicely. It may be from your friends, parents, neighbors, relatives, or any common people. Okay, you can share any one incident in which you were really appreciated for what you did, and write this in your note and you can share it with me in Google Classroom. And chapter number 8, Good and Bad Children. And before getting into our poem, we are going to learn some new words. In your concept book, page number 123, stately, impressive and royal, brittle, fragile or can break easily, sedately, calmly in a composed way, unruly, disorderly or unorganized, bewildering, very confusing, unduly, that which is not necessary or not important, gabbies, fools. Children, I hope you are clear with all the new words. Now we are moving on to our Did You Know? Robert Louis Balfour Stevenson was a Scottish novelist, poet and essayist. His famous works are Kidnapped, Treasure Island and A Child's Garden of Verses. And what is the moral we are going to learn from this poem, children? We should learn to stay happy always. Whatever happens, we should be happy and we should stay happy always. And now, let's read the poem, Good and Bad Children. Keep your fingers on the lines. Children, you are very little and your bones are very brittle. If you would grow great and stately, you must try to walk sedately. And from this first stanza, what you can understand? Children, you all are very small, that is very little and tiny. And your bones are very brittle, that is it can break easily. You are very fragile. And if you would grow great and stately in future, if you grow into a great person, or a very honorable person, you must try to walk sedately. You must try to walk in a very composed way. You should not show any pride in yourself, even if you grow very great. And that is what we have learned from this first stanza. Children, in this picture you can see many children and they all are very happily going into school. And next stanza, you must still be bright and quiet. Even if you grow into a great person, you must still be bright and quiet and content with simple diet, and you should be satisfied with a very simple diet that your body requires, right? And remain through all bewildering, innocent and honest children. And you should remain innocent and honest even though there are a lot of confusions around you. You must still be bright and quiet and content with simple diet, and also you should remain through all the confusions around you innocent and honest children. And third stanza, happy hearts and happy faces, happy play in grassy places. That was how in ancient ages children grew to kings and sages. You should always have a happy heart and happy face, and you should play happily in grassy places, that is with nature. And that was how in ancient time, that is in ancient ages, children grew up to become kings and sages. Understood, children? Yeah. And next, we are going to see about the bad children that you should not become. But the unkind and the unruly, the children who are unkind and unorganized, and the sort who eat unduly, and the children who eat unwanted things that is not good for our health, they must never hope for glory. They should never seek for glory in their life, and theirs is quite a different story, and their life will become quite a different story other than that of good children who become kings and sages. Cruel children, crying babies all grew up as geese and gabbies. The cruel children who is having no kindness within them, and the crying babies, one who is always worrying and keep on crying, they grow up into geese and gabbies, that is as fools and without having any intelligence and thinking. Hated as their age increases by their nephews and their nieces. And those children, when they grow, as their age increases, what will happen? They will be hated by their own nephews and nieces. And this poem is written by Robert Louis Stevenson. And children, from this poem, what you learnt? You are very little and you are very fragile. And if in future you would grow into a great and wise person, you must try to walk very composed. You should not show any pride about yourself. And you must still be bright and quiet and content. You should always feel content with simple diet you can have. And remain innocent and honest even though you are surrounded by all the confusions. As children, you should always be with happy hearts and happy faces, and also you should play happily in grassy places. That was how in ancient times children used to play, and those children grew up to kings and sages. And children, in these last two stanzas, they are telling you about the bad children. But the unkind and the unruly, the children, those who are unkind and disorganized, and the children who eat unnecessary things, that is unhealthy food, they must never expect glory, that is praise or happiness in their life. And theirs is quite a different story. Their life will become totally different from the good children. Cruel children, the children who are unkind and raised up as cruel children, and crying babies, the children who are worrying and being sad and crying for everything, they grow up as geese and gabbies, that is fools, and hated as their age increases. Such children, they are hated as their age increases by even their nephews and nieces. So, we should always be good children and trying to be organized, calm, composed, and eat healthy food. And this poem is written by Robert Louis Stevenson. I hope you are clear about the poem Good Children and Bad Children. Yes? Yeah. And hereafter, you should always be good children. You should be kind to everyone, and you should be organized. You should eat healthy food, and you should have happy hearts, happy faces, and you all should play happily in grassy places. Right? Yes. And I hope you will follow everything. Right? And let me tell you the home assignment for today's session. Read chapter number 8, Good and Bad Children, New Words, Did You Know, and the poem in your concept book thoroughly. And after that, summarize the poem Good and Bad Children in your own words. And you can add what are the things you learned from this poem, what you understood, and what is the moral of this poem in your own words while summarizing. Clear, children? Yes. And after completing your homework, hand in it in grade 4 English Google Classroom. And children, drink more water, eat healthy food, reduce your screen time, don't use mobile phone and television often, stay home and stay safe, children. Thank you so much.